You don't have to play Chrono Trigger first to play and enjoy Chrono Cross the Radical Dreamers Edition. Whew. Yo, what's good on the web? This is your man Q back again with some more of that geek news. As many of y'all know, heard, and been playing Chrono Cross, which, let me know, how you enjoying it? Are you liking it? You feeling the music? Was it worth the $20? Or did you go out and get the PlayAsia $50 one? But before we jump in, if you're new to the channel and you want to stay up to date with all things games, and especially all things jrpgs and RPGs, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to like. I know you've heard that Chrono Cross is Chrono Trigger's successor, but let me tell you from a guy whose favorite game and considers Chrono Trigger the GOAT game, it's really not. They share a lot of things. For one, they share a timeline, kinda, sorta, and they share some characters too, and even sprinkle in some type of character lineages and stuff. But Chrono Cross is not to be mistaken for Chrono Trigger's sequel. Not to say that it's a bad game, not at all. It's kind of really just like its own thing though. Treat this game the same way that you would treat comic book MCU, DCU, movies separate from the comics. Like they're the same entity, but they're not. But Chrono Cross in itself is an amazing game, which dropped on PlayStation 1 back in 1999. And if not for Final Fantasy IX, which many consider to be the greatest Final Fantasy all time, which dropped around the same time, Chrono Cross could have been considered the RPG, excuse me, the JRPG of its time. The story of Chrono Cross takes place with Surge, our silent protagonist, being sought after by Kid, who seems to know him, but from a different time and space. Unlike Chrono Trigger, which was based upon time, Chrono Cross is based on dimensions. Not to say that it doesn't have time within the aspects of the game, but it's more of two different realms and dimensions. One where Surge, he's alive, and the second where Surge in Kid's world is dead. The general story of Chrono Cross revolves around friends reuniting and uncovering the mystery behind not only your dimension, but what is the dimension in the other world? And why is Kid alive in one and Surge is dead in the other? The gameplay is pretty much the same as the gameplay was in 1999, which, to be honest, is kind of unfortunate because of the fact that we've gotten so many good-looking upgrades from the other Square Enix remake, remaster titles like 10, 7, 8, 9, and 12, but that's definitely not to say that the game does not look amazing, because that would be a lie. The game looks great, and it even has a cool feature where it allows you to switch back and forth between the new upgraded graphics and go back to, well, the janky looking 1999 graphics. Although a lot of folks was complaining because you weren't able to switch the font with the old type of graphics with the new type of graphics with the old font, if that makes sense. As for me, I was cool with that, and you know what? I really was cool with how great the game looked. Playing the game from 1999 and now playing it 20 years later, it looks amazing. Many of the songs on the game have been recomposed by the original composer. And, ooh, that Another World main world theme, it takes me back to the thousands and thousands, okay, maybe just hundreds of hours when I played back in my youth. Unfortunately, there's no new boosts, secrets, or extras to the original story, which is kinda unfortunate. However, the remedy to this whole situation is we get a chance to see Radical Dreamers for the first time here in the States. Radical Dreamers dropped back in 1996 and was supposed to be the link in between Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. However, unless you was on them ROMs back in the day, you did not get a chance to play this novel. So this is one of the benefits of being upgraded in modern day. We get a chance to read the 2 to 3 hour story, which has up to 6 multiple endings if you want to dedicate that kind of time to Kid Surge and Madrill's story, which I believe it is worth it, especially if you play Chrono Trigger and you want to bridge the link to Chrono Cross. And don't worry, this remaster, much like most of the other Square Enix, a fast forward mode, a slow mode, and a no enemy encounter mode. But Chrono Cross's claim to fame is the same claim to fame that it had back in 1999, and that's in the characters. Not to say that Chrono Cross in general as a story-based game was bad, because it wasn't. It just had, a little too much seasoning in the gumbo, if y'all know what I mean. Unlike Chrono Trigger, which was a tried and true hero's journey story that laid out things in a very simplistic manner that opened up to a greater story, where on the flip side, the story for Chrono Cross was a little convoluted with a whole bunch of characters to recruit that made up the central story. Certain elements of the story you won't be able to uncover if you do not recruit certain characters. And speaking of character recruitment can be tricky, so if this is your first time playing Chrono Cross, I suggest you look up a wikia, try to get yourself a strategy guide, or ask a friend, because you can easily miss out on a potential character that might be your favorite. All in all, Chrono Cross is a must play if you are a JRPG enthusiast and you just happen to miss this game when it dropped, or you like Chrono Trigger and you wanted to see what everybody was talking about and if this is truly the sequel. In my humble opinion, Chrono Trigger, well, there ain't that many games that can match up with Chrono Trigger, including Cross, but Cross is still not a bad game and highly suggested. It gives you a painting of a picture of Chrono Trigger's world, at least the other side of it. And I mean, what are you gonna lose for $19.99? And what are you gonna lose for $19.99? Especially if you're like me and gonna pick it up for the Switch. You can play it on the go, refresh and go, refresh and go, refresh and go. The game drops for every system, and you can get a physical edition over on Play Asia, or you can wait. I mean, what are you gonna lose? The game is only $19.99, and for a JRPG of its age, I think that it's a game best served on the Switch. And let me know in the comment section below, did you pick up Chrono Cross? Are you picking up Chrono Cross? Have you played Chrono Trigger? Once you go Trigger, it's hard to go pro. Well, not really, because you kind of want to see what happens, but do me a favor and make sure you hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things JRPGs, RPGs, and Geek. Longest time, I wasn't being legit or for real with myself either, because that was a part of me. And even though I was doing it in secret. And then it just hit me. And that's when it hit me. And that's when I became a geek. Finally, the sleeper has awakened. I am the prince of all geeks once again.